Hey, Reganite71 here. You know, a few episodes back, I showed you my sucker plants that I started, or that I rooted from suckers that I had pruned off of my indeterminate better boys. And now I'm going to go ahead and plant those. What I've done is I've taken cat litter boxes that we have saved, washed them, cleaned them out, and I just took some outdoor spray paint and spray painted them a nice green, just like my garden sticks. I've let those dry. And now I'm going to show you the mix that I'm going to use for these buckets and for my suckers. So come along and let's get her done here. Last year I did a video on grow bags, and I made a specific mixture of 1/3 compost, 1/3 moisture control potting soil, and 1/3 coconut coir. This is a 11-pound brick of Cocotech coconut coir I got over at Grow Fresh Organics. This is amazing stuff. This brick will just about fill this entire giant bucket here, or Rubbermaid container. I'm going to demonstrate it to you here by putting a bunch of compost tea in, and we'll just set the brick in and come back in a few minutes and see how she looks. I may have to pick this back up tomorrow. We've got some really bad storms rolling in. I can hear the thunder off in the distance, so I may have to put this whole thing under cover and suspend the video at some point, but we'll just keep on trucking until we have to do that. I've got the camera under the covered part of the deck, so here's what the brick looks like. That's an 11-pound brick of coco coir there. And so now what I'm going to do is take compost tea and I'm actually going to put a couple of gallons worth in here because it is absolutely amazing the absorbing properties of coco coir. It really is. It'll just suck it right up. The nice thing about using compost tea, though, is that it's infusing into this coir. And so when I mix it with my mix, here comes the thunder, it'll release it back into the plants. And of course it's going to hold that moisture. That'll do for now. We'll let it soak in real good. All of that stuff that we put in there, look at that. Soaked it up and it could still take more. Like a sponge. That's amazing stuff right there. And in situations where you have a grow bucket and it's really critical to keep things hydrated and not let it dry out, this is a good thing to mix in with your compost and your moisture control potting soil. Sorry about the air conditioner running. It's the next day. We had storm after storm last night, lots of lightning and all that, and I just had to shut production down. But as you can see here, golly, that one brick has made all of this. Check this out. This is just flabbergastingly amazing. That gigantic toad is now just about full of coconut coir. That stuff is so amazing, and it just soaks up water like a sponge doesn't even do it justice. I put a lot of compost tea in here, and so it's infused into this coconut coir. If I dig way down, it's really holding on to the moisture, and you can see it there. And yet it's still crumbly and light, but it'll hold that moisture. And so what I'm going to do for my grow buckets is I'm going to do 1/3 coconut coir, I'm going to do 1/3 compost, and I'm going to do 1/3 moisture control potting soil. I'm going to mix all of that together, and then I'm going to get my my suckers transplanted. One of the things that I have done is I put 4 holes just a little bit above the bottom of the bucket for drainage. That way, if there's any excess moisture that the coconut coir can hold on to, it will drain it out. And one of the ways I'm going to make sure that I have equal parts is I'm just going to take a 5-gallon bucket and fill it up. I'm going to go get some compost, and then I'm going to get coconut coir and then moisture control potting soil. Now, in order to get it all mixed in nice and good, I'll just take each 5-gallon bucket of the 3, throw it in here. And then I'll get my garden tines. It's kind of like a little hoe with 3 hooks, and I'll just mix it all together that way. I just went and got this compost. I got to share it with you here. I hope the sun will do it justice here. But that is about 2 weeks old right there. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I hope the camera's bringing out the rich earth colors in it. There we go. A little sun on there. 2 weeks of drunken composting right there. But we'll just mix this right in now. And of course I take coffee grounds and eggshells. I always put the eggshells in the microwave for about a minute or 2. You can see some of it right there though. That'll be a good source of calcium. But I put it in the microwave for about a minute or so that any salmonella, anything like that, will be broken up. Look at that compost, would you? Oh, organic matter, just rich as can be. Nutrients in it. This is going to be good stuff for the grow buckets, for sure, especially when we get it all mixed together. So now it's just a matter of mixing this up. If I had a little vermiculite or perlite, it probably wouldn't hurt to mix that in. That moisture control potting soil has got a bit there, so that's good. Get that coconut coir and moisture control all mixed together though. This is going to be some really good stuff. I did this last year for the grow bags. I did a big video on organic supplies and doing this with the grow bags, and it worked really well. This year I'm getting about a month and a half, 2-month head start from where I was last year. So like I needed more tomatoes, huh? We're going to have them. And the neat thing is if you have indeterminate tomatoes with suckers coming out, you let them grow just a little bit longer, maybe an extra week or so, and then you can take those things and get free tomato plants. Absolutely free. Replant them in grow buckets or grow bags. Last year I got like Walmart bags, the reusable type, and they did just fine in it. But extra free tomatoes, can't beat that with a stingy stick, I tell you what. Now what I did is I took my sucker plants and I just popped them into some little containers of just 100% compost. It's very sunny out there. Right here under this tree, as you can see, it gets partial sun but a lot of shade, and that's where I put them. Now in the last week I've had them out in the sun. I've only brought them over here so I could do my work. I did one about 4 days ago there in this smart pot, which automatically root prunes and keeps them from circling. Got it at Grow Fresh, by the way. And it's starting to pick back up, but it'll look really droopy. They'll look very sad. First couple of days, make sure the soil stays moist so that those roots can expand and grow. But as you can see, the ones that I did earlier are doing just fine. Pretty doggone good. And so now we're going to plant these bad boys. Now I've taken my mix and put it in the bucket here so I can get it started in my grow bucket. I'm going to put about 1/3 of material in this bucket. That way the roots have something to grow towards. I've already got a new sucker growing on this thing. If you didn't know, that's what a sucker looks like right there. It grows right in the armpit of the thing, right here. I'm going to go ahead and take that off. I'm going to make sure this bad boy is limbed all the way up. And I'm going to plant this thing deep, very deep. Now I'm not going to fill this thing all the way to the top. I want to leave about 1.5 inches room minimum by the time I'm done for water to go on down in there and to pool and go down. I'm actually going to go a little bit lower. That way, as the season goes on, I can add more and more compost to the bucket and put fresh nutrients in. Something else that I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of Happy Frog tomato and vegetable fertilizer. This is a 745 variety, and it also has active soil microbes. I'm going to put this in the container. Very important when you're container growing that you feed your plants. So we'll do that here. It calls for about a half a cup for a new plant. And so I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is sprinkle this all in here, and then I'm going to add some more material on top of it. That way, as those roots grow, when they hit that fertilizer, off it goes to the races. We just turn it upside down, give it a little pat. Look at that. Those roots are ready to go, aren't they? The roots from the stem. Nightshade. The reason for this is tomatoes are in the nightshade family of plants, and if you plant part of the stem in the ground, in fact, if you look at a tomato plant real close, you'll notice little hairs. You probably can't see it there. Little hairs form along the stem, and those hairs, if they're exposed to soil, will grow new roots, as was the case here. So now we just we're going to add our soil mix, and then we'll give her a drink and be good to go. The other good thing about putting about a third, the bottom third, with just the mixture, is those roots are going to have some place to grow to now. But with this coconut coir, it's going to hold that moisture real good, and the roots will take it up as it needs it. That's a win-win right there. That's a good thing. Very good thing. Well, now I've got her back out in the sun here, and we're just going to water this root zone here and water the mixture in real good. Look at how that coconut coir still soaks it up. That's some good stuff right there. Very good stuff, indeed. And now I'm just going to put a basic tomato cage around this bad boy. And it's off to the races. There we have it. I needed more tomato plants. No, really. What? Guys, this is Reaganite 71. Thank you for joining me. I hope you found this helpful. If you want extra tomato plants for free, take your suckers off of your indeterminate tomatoes like your Better Boys, pop them in some soil, and a couple of weeks later, you can transplant them. And you can get a lot of tomatoes that way. That means a lot of salsa too, huh? Yeah, baby. Come on, let's go. Come on. See you next time.
Raw.